learn about like HTML, right? Today, how we can work with HTML and some basics of HTML also. Okay, so we are going to work with that. So now, what do we have to do? I have created a folder first. Okay, I went to my home screen over here, and I created a new folder. So if you don't know how to create a new folder, all you need to do is to right click over here. Okay, you just need to right click over here. Okay, and after right clicking you have this new button. When you click over this new button, what you see, you have something like this. Okay, this kind of thing. When you do that, you can see this folder option, so you can click over here, and when you click here you will see, okay, like a new, like this kind of symbol will appear, and you can rename this folder. So for renaming it, we can, you can write it like that. So for example, we are going to work on web development, and we are going to learn about the basics of HTML, right? So for example, we are going to learn about basics of HTML. Okay, okay, practical. Okay, so we can write it like that. You can create a folder, and yeah, like that you can create a folder, or you can write, rename it as something else. Okay, so now I have created a folder over here. Now what I want to do, I want to go to my Visual Studio Code, and when I go to my Visual Studio Code, I can open my folder. Okay, when I open my folder, I have something like this. I can go to my desktop, and I can basically go to my folder. Okay, I can select the folder over here. Okay, now I have selected my folder, and yeah, it is looking something like this for me, and it is completely empty right now. If I see over here, it is completely empty, and if I try to zoom it out, you can see I have different options over here: new file, new folder, and all those options. So these two options are basically, we can create a new folder, we can create a new file. So inside this basics of HTML, I want to kind of create a new file. Okay, and in this new file I'm going to create a file, and I'm going to name it as index.html. Okay, and I will name it as it is. Okay, so this is my file name, it appeared over here. It is your index.html file, and I can kind of move it like that, or I can kind of like um keep it like I can get it back also. And over here I have something called is boilerplate code. So I can click over this exclamation mark, and when I do that, I have this thing called as emmet abbreviation. Okay, so when I click on this emmet abbreviation, I have a code generated for me over here. Okay, so when I do that, I have all this over here. I have my like a basic code, like basic structure is created for this HTML file. Okay, so now, what are the different things over here we can discuss? We have the, at the top we have the doc type HTML, then we have over here opening tag, we have the closing tag. Okay, you have the body tag, the head tag. Inside the head tag, we write something like title. Okay, so this is basically the basic structure how it looks like. So I will just delete it for now, and we can start from the beginning. Okay, so we have something like when you create a like file, generally you can write doc type. Then you can write doc type HTML. So basically, when you do this thing, it simply means like you're trying to access a version of HTML. Okay, so if you there is this website we have called W3 Schools website. If you go over there, W3 Schools, and you have very detailed information over there. You can go there. You have doc type HTML. And if we go over here, we have an article over here. Okay, so you have, this is about your doc type HTML. So we can look into some theory. So this is your doc type HTML, and it is okay. All HTML elements must start with a doc type declaration. The declaration is not an HTML tag, it is an information to the browser about what document type to expect. Okay, so in older documents like HTML4 or HTML, the declaration is more complicated. Okay, so now over here we are using a advanced version of HTML, and where we can use this doc type HTML. Okay, okay, so basically it is an information to the browser about what type of document to explain. expect. Okay, so now you have different versions of HTML. Like HTML also keeps on getting updated, and year by year new features keeps on getting added, and the features which are not useful keeps on getting removed. So we have this HTML5 version. For getting this HTML5 version, we use this doctype HTML. Okay, in the HTML5 you declare, you ask the browser to like about what type of document to expect. Okay, so this is basically the definition and the usage of your doc type HTML. Okay, so what is the definition and usage? That if you're using HTML, you're basically with the help of this document doctype.html, you're telling your browser like Google, or like right now I'm using this Microsoft browser. So you can depend on what type of browser you are using. Your browser will, you're telling your browser, okay, your file, like which kind of file to expect. It will tell, okay, HTML5 file you need to expect. So you have this doc type HTML over here. So basically, we are telling this is an HTML5 version. In HTML5, we use this kind of version. Okay, so this is about your doc type HTML. Then you start with this HTML. Okay, you have this opening tag and a closing tag. You have something called as tag name in your HTML. Okay, so if I go to my HTML theoretical part, I have my basically elements over here. Okay, there is something called as elements. So an HTML element is defined as a start tag, some content, and then an ending tag. Okay, so over here you can see also this is your start tag. Okay, you have this start tag, this is your start tag, this is your end tag, and in between you have some content you can write. Okay, you have start tag, you have end tag, and in between you can add some kind of content. Okay, so you have in HTML, element is everything from start tag to the end tag. You have your tag name, then you write some content in between it, and then your tag name gets closed. Okay, so that is how, like, you have this opening bracket, and then you write a tag name, then you have this closing bracket. Okay, and then you write something in between it. Okay, and when you this is your closing tag. What is the difference between this one and this one? The difference is the slash symbol. Okay, you can see this slash symbol is the difference. And these are some very basic tags, which are your heading tag and the paragraph tag. Okay, so this is your h1, this is p. You have heading tag and paragraph. So if you want to add a heading, you can write my first heading. For paragraph, you can write my first paragraph. And there is something called as break tag, br tag, which is basically, as the name suggests, you can add line breaks, you can add space between the two lines. So this is your basic structure. Okay, this is the very basic structure. For example, if you want to write for example, you have this HTML tag opening and closing, and you can have something like a heading. Okay, so you can use h tag for a heading, you can write heading. And or you have different types of headings. Okay, how many types of headings we have? And yeah, this is your opening tag, we discussed. So this is your h tag, heading tag, this is opening tag, and this is closing tag with a slash. This kind of slash you have to add to indicate that it is a closing tag. Now you have 6 types of headings. So if I run it right now, I just CTRLS, I have this go live button. If I go and go live over here, so I have the result, a heading, this is the result over here. Okay, so I can have what you can say, I can have 6 different types of heading. Okay, where h1 till h6, I have 6 different types of headings. H1 till h6, h1 is the largest heading, h6 is the smallest heading. Okay, so if you go over here, you can see you have something called as headings. Okay, so you have 6 different types of headings. Okay, so HTML headings are titles and subtitles that you want to display on your web page. Okay, so titles and subtitles, like how you see in different websites, you have a title, then you have a paragraph, you have smaller headings. So this is what the result will look like. Okay, so you have h1 is the largest, h6 is the smallest. Okay, HTML headings are defined with h1 to h6. H1 defines the most important heading, h6 defines the least important heading. Okay, is it clear? H1 defines the most, what you can say, H1 defines the most important, and H6 defines the least important heading. Okay, so let's do this. Let's represent this, how you can do that. So you have H1 over here, right? So yeah, so it all like auto completes that code for me. That so I can write a heading. So I can write something like a heading one. Okay, we can write heading one, and we can write again H2, or we can directly copy paste and just replace one with 2 also. Okay, so that is also an option. Okay, so yeah, we have H2, we have H3, and we can similarly go from H3 till we can go towards H5, H6. Okay, so you have 4, you have 5, and you have, okay, you have 6 also. Okay, okay, you have 6 also. So you can have 6 also over here. Now we have all these headings over here, right? So if I just control S and then I go and try to go to live. So if I go live over here, I can see that, okay, I have all the different headings printed over here. H1 till H6, okay? So this is how you can add in heading. What you have to do, you have an opening tag, you have a closing tag, okay? This is your opening tag, this is your closing tag. So I'm adding a comment. So this is your comment. Comments are ignored. Okay, if I, for example, if I save it and if I go to the I will run this program, this will not show on my result page. You see, nothing is showing, so these are ignored. Whatever I write in between it and this whole thing will be ignored. Okay, it will not, it will be ignored by the browser. So I can write something inside it. So this is your heading, for example, and here you have your opening tag. Okay, you have what, you have your opening tag. Then, so this is your opening tag, this H1 is the opening tag. Then what you have, your content. Okay, what is your content, this heading one is the content. And then you have closing tag also. Okay, what is your closing tag, this thing is your closing tag. Okay, so this is how you can add headings. Okay, then you have something called as paragraphs. Okay, you have something called as paragraph, you can add paragraph with the help of p tag. Okay, so there is something called as lorem ipsum text. When we don't know what to add in a paragraph or a content, we can use something called as lorem ipsum. So this is like you have lorem ipsum text you can use. So these are just the gibberish text and it doesn't hold any meaning. Okay, so yeah, you have a lot of lorem ipsum text you can get. So I'm just getting this one over here. I'm just copying it. It is gibberish. It doesn't mean anything, but I'm just adding it over here because I want some content in my paragraph. Okay, so I will see. Okay, so this is my paragraph over here. So over here, it's my opening tag, it's my closing tag, and I have added some content over here. Now, if I just go and check my result over here, so over here, if I refresh my screen, you see my paragraph is showing over here, right? So this is like my paragraph. Okay, how I can add heading, how I can add paragraphs. So we discussed about the headings and the paragraphs also. Okay, we have something called as paragraphs. So element defines, this is your paragraph element, it defines a paragraph. Okay, paragraph always starts in a new line and browser automatically adds some white spaces between a paragraph. What this line means, that imagine I have one paragraph. Okay, how like when you write H5 then you write H6, it started in a new line. So you have this heading in one line, the second heading in another line. In the same way, if you add a different paragraph, right, it will do the same thing. Okay, if I paste it again and save it, I can go and check it out, like my result. You will see that it went into a new line. You can see in the second paragraph, it went to a new line. It added some space over here. You see, once this line is ended, I have some space added over here. So that is what a paragraph tag does. Okay. So yeah, we have learned about you. Okay. So we have learned about some basics of paragraphs also, right? So then what we can do, we can learn about something called as list. Okay. We have something called as lists. Okay, what we have, we have lists. So we can learn about something called as lists. Okay, how we can, okay, so now list are, you have different items in a list, right? So basically you have two types of lists in HTML, that is your unordered list and ordered list. Okay, you have unordered list and ordered list. These two types of lists are there. If you want to use unordered list, you have to use something called as U for unordered. Unordered. Okay, you have, like, how does the spelling of unordered, you have, it starts with U, right? So you have the unordered list. Okay, and then you can write it like that. Then you must have list items. So basically it indicates your unordered list is starting here, it is closing here. So this is the opening tag and this is the closing tag. Now what you have the list items. Okay, what you have the list items, which is indicated with the L1. You can write something over here, like I'm just using lorem ipsum. or like a text which doesn't make any sense, and I will just add it 3 times. Okay, I will just add it 3 times. Let me save it and check it out. You see over here how these 3 dots are there now. Three bullet kind of dots are there. So this is because this is your unordered list. Okay, let's look into it like how your ordered list looks like. Okay, so I will just copy this whole thing. Okay, and I will just paste it over here, and you guys can see over here you have ul. Instead of ul, I just need to write ol. Okay, I just need to write OL. OL means ordered. Like if you check the spelling of ordered, it starts with letter O. So that's why it is ordered list. Okay. And now let me save it and we can check like how it looks like. If we go over here and kind of refresh it, we can see, okay, we have 1, 2, 3 over here, right? We have 1, 2, and 3 over here. So this is your unordered list and this is your ordered list. And in the ordered, what is happening? 1, 2, 3 is there, right? So this is your ordered list and unordered list. Okay, so then we have discussed about that okay, then we were discussing about the lists also. So yeah, let me check if I can find the article for lists also. Table, yeah, over here I have the article for lists. So you have HTML lists. Okay, HTML lists allow web developers to group a set of related items in the list. Okay, so in a list you have a related item, like you can have shopping list. You go to shopping and you create a shopping list. Okay, these are the things I want to buy. You can have, for example, a to-do list. Like you're going somewhere, like for not going somewhere. Sorry. For example, like you're starting your day and you think, okay, what should I do today, right? So you can create a to-do list in that situation. So this is your unordered list. What is the difference? You have a lot of items and it has a dot over here. You can see this dot over here. You have different dots. But if it is ordered, you have these numbers 1, 2, 3. So HTML list will allow you to add different kind of group a set of related items in the list. Unordered HTML list starts with UL tag. Okay, unordered list starts with your UL tag, and each list item, li for list item. If you can see the spelling for list item, you have L first letter, I first letter. So this li. If you have this unordered list, U first letter, L first letter, right? So you have UL. So UL and LI are there. So you have UL, LI. This is the example over here. So you can see how you have your opening over here, closing here. You have list items. LI is for list item. You have ordered lists in the same way. So this is still here, which we have discussed. Unordered list, same thing we have discussed about it. And yeah, you can have different kind of shapes. If you want to read more into it, you can study these articles. This is in w3school.com HTML and over here. But for now we are not going into that much details. We are just discussing over but you can have different types of shapes like circle. You can have disc like shape. You can have square shape. So these are the different shapes you can see in the order list. Similarly, you have different kind of values supported. If you look into it, you have different types of values supported. What are the different types of values which can be there? Let me look into it. First, you have somewhere I have, yeah. If you can see, you have the different types of values like 1A, capital A, small a, or Roman numbers, like uppercase or lowercase Roman numbers. So these are the different things you can have there. So like, and we are not going into detail, but you can create these things. You have to write type and then you can write. So just you can check it out how you can do. You don't have to remember everything, just understand it. And when you're making your website, you can look into these resources. Okay, so we discussed about what? We discussed about the list. We discussed about all these things. Then, like we have discussed about comments also, right? You have HTML comment tag. So, like using this tag, you can write HTML comments. We discussed about this thing also. Like over here, we discussed at the top, like what are your comments. So this is your comments over here, like how we can write it. And if you look into theory of what is our comment can be used to hide the content. If you don't want to run that content, you can use it. Okay, that can be a use. So basically HTML contents are not displayed in the browser. Okay, so any comment you will write, that will not be shown on the result page. Okay, and HTML comment tag add comments to your HTML source by using the syntax. Okay, this is the syntax we see. What is the syntax? You have this syntax like opening tag, like opening bracket, a semicolon, and this hyphen sign, okay? And at the end also, if you see, you have hyphen sign and that's a closing bracket. So this is how you can add comments. It you can hide your content, or you can, for it can be also be used to increase like readability also. Like if someone else is reading your work, they can understand why you have done something somewhere. Okay, so yeah, that is about. Then we have images. Let's try to learn about what is your images, how you can work with the images. So if we look into like how the image works, uh, so I will just add images at the top over here, over here. Okay, so I'm just going over here and I'm adding an image. So how you can add an image? You have to write img tag, image tag. Then you have to write source. For the source, you have to write src. Then you have to write equal to and double quotes. Inside this double quote, your image link will go. So now let me go over here and let me search for an image. Okay, so I will go over here, I will search for an image. So I will search for like a computer image. Okay, so if I go over here and if I go to my images, and if I go over here, let me see. Okay, let me just select this image. I will go to view image. And if I go to view image, over here I can see that image link is there. And you can always right click and get the image link. If you right click, you will see that, okay. If I right click, I will see copy image link. So you can use this option also. I like to just go over here and just in this way, I like to do that. So yeah, you can have your own way. Now, if I just paste this link over here and I save it, Control S, and if I just go live, and if I check my result, okay, so you can just see over here, this image is so large, right? If I go over here, this image is so large, I don't want it to be so large, okay. I don't want this image to be so large. So we have something called as height and width, and we can kind of control its height and width. Like, okay. So what I will do, I will go just after this. I will add a height property. I will write it and I will give it some values. I'm giving it 250 pixels, and I can go to width, and I am giving it maybe 250 pixels again. Okay, so it will be like a square shape. I save it, and if I just check my result, if I go and just refresh this and check my result, it's like now much smaller. Now it is going in the same line. I don't want it to do that. So for that, I can do what? Yeah, I don't want it to go into the same line. I can add a break tag. Okay, there's a br tag. Okay, it because it is going in the same line, it can make things go to a new line or add space. Okay, so I will just save it once and just check my result. If I go over here and refresh it, it's in now other line, right? So this is how you can add an image, and we can look into some theory of our image tag also. If you go to images, okay, so you may go to images. So if you go to images, you have images can improve the design of or appearance. So this is how you can write an image. Okay, you have image source. Okay, so then you have alternate text also. So image tag is used to embed an image. Okay, image tag creates a holding space. Okay, so now let's learn. Okay, so now you have specifies the path of the image. This is specify the alternate text. Okay, so imagine sometimes this link is not there. This link tag is not working. Imagine in that situation, I can have an alternate text. Okay, basically, in some situation, my like image tag image is broken or it is not showing on my page, I can represent. Okay, so for example, I can write a computer image. Okay, I can write what it is showing. So let me save it and just show the result. If we see right now on our result page, nothing will happen. But imagine my link is broken. Imagine something is wrong. My link is broken, or maybe what you happened, like the image was removed from this website. Like I got this from this website, so it was removed. So if I refresh right now, you see it is saying computer image. From where this computer image text is coming from? This computer images text is coming from here. Okay, this computer image is coming from over here. Okay, so yeah. Now what we have to do? So like let me just correct it out again. Let me just add the G again. So like my image will show. This was just for showing like how my what is this alternate text is doing. So far we have learned about how to add an image, how to add heading, how to add paragraph, how to add list. All these things we have learned about. There is something called as HR tag also. This is horizontal rule tag. If I want to kind of add a straight line, okay, so for example there's something called as HR tag. Okay, look into this result, there is no straight line over here. Let me add an HR tag. Okay, now let me save it and go over here and refresh it. If I do that, let's see, like I should see a straight line. Yeah, you see the straight line appeared over here. So this straight line is appearing. Why this straight line is appearing? Because I have used this HR tag. Okay, so this is using because of this HR tag. So that was the use of HR tag. So if I go over here and we discuss in theory, so we have learned about images. They're not going into much other details, but yeah, this is how your HR tag works. Then we have something called as anchor tag. Okay, something called as anchor tag. There is something called as anchor tag. So this is your A. Okay, anchor tag. You can write HREF, and there you can write something. This A stands for your anchor tag, and there you can link it with other websites, or you can link other HTML pages also. So if, or you can link it with other web pages. So right now, what I can do, I can get a link of a website. For example, I want to link this W3 schools website. Okay, so I will just copy the link of it. Wait a minute. I will copy this website address. I will go over here. I will paste it, and I will just go here and then kind of write the close this. So this is href equal to, there is the address, and there I can say W3 schools. Control S. If I go here, I can just kind of check here, refresh it, and that should be at the bottom. If I click here, I am on this website, or I can just link my HTML page only, because kind of you're learning about HTML, right? So we can go over here and we can okay, I can write. I can save it, and if I go over here and if I check it out, and if I go and kind of check it out over here, yeah, let me refresh it. So I should see my result. Yeah, if I go here, I am over here, right? So it is linked. So now if I just kind of go back, I can link other HTML pages also. I can link other HTML pages also. How I can link other HTML pages with this? I have to create a new HTML page, okay? Like let me kind of go back here. I have this symbol over here, if you can see. मेरा ही ये तुम्हारा होगा. Huh. So we can create a new page. Okay. So for example, I want to create something like project page. Okay. Project page. Project page dot html. Okay. I'm clicking enter. So this is my project page. Imagine. So I'm just living here, and I'm using Emmet abbreviation so that I don't have to create some basic structure. So I over here I can write basically, or I can just keep it simple and remove everything from here so that you don't have to kind of worry about what is all that. So yeah, I can kind of write about what you can rate. So P for, okay, so I can write something like projects page. Okay, so now I have another project page. So I can link that also. So I can write a href equal to, and then I can write what? I can write projects page. So if I like, it will give me recommendation also. So this is the page name. Use the correct page name, otherwise it will not link. I can say click here to see my projects. Okay, let me save it. If I now go back and check my result and kind of refresh it, if I go back and see, it's in the same line. So so it is on the projects page. We have added that text now in our projects page. If you check, we have that added that text. So if I go to index.html right now, if I can see, I can add a break tag, right? I can add a break tag so that both lines have some space between them. So I'm adding like two br tags. Yeah, and let me save it. Yeah, I think it should work. So if I now kind of refresh it, if I just see my results, so yeah, it's in different lines. So yeah, we have learned about anchor tags also. So this was some basics over here. We have learned about anchor tags also. Now what should we should kind of, we can work on a project also, right? So we can work on little project. So for example, I can go over here and I can go to project.html page and I can create something like I can write headings. Okay, so when I can write my projects. Okay, and I can create a list of item. Na, you will. I want uh, an order list. So if I create an order list or order list, maybe. Okay, let's keep it UL. Who cares? Yeah. So we can go over here, we can have a list item. So I can have a first project can be called as happy birthday project. Okay, happy birthday invitation. Maybe we may want to invite other people for our birthday party. I think my spelling is wrong. Invitation. Yeah, save it. So now I have a list item. Okay, I can have other project added also. So I can have other projects also. So like a form or something. But yeah, form or something, other projects can be there also. Or let me just write a project 3 of your choice, or movie recommendation project or something like that, where you can add your favorite movie recommendations. So you can add your favorite movie recommendations or something like that you can create. Now if we go over here to this, we can, now if I save it, I can go over here and I can see that I have this page over here. Click here. I am on this page. Now I want to kind of link it. Now I want to kind of add a link over here. So I will create a new project. And for that new project, I want to kind of create like happy birthday dot html, and I can click here. This is my new page. So I can link it. Okay, how we used to link it, I can write a href equal to, and then I can write the name of the project like this, and I can close it. And yeah, we just want to place it at the end. Okay, we want to place it at the end, save it. If I do that, let me go back and just let me see it. Also there's a link. If I go over here, this is completely empty because we have not added any thing over here. Okay, so let me just add that. So now let me try to kind of yeah. So this is my project page. I can add a project over here. So I can say H1, like I can have H1 like this. I can say happy birthday. Uh, I can say then H3. I can say you are invited. Okay, and then I can add an image over here. I can say image src equal to. I can add a image over here. I can say like I can search for some image like so I selected some image. I can add that image over there. I can just close it. After closing it, I can simply say that I can kind of modify it also. I can have some height and width also. I can say height of 250 pixels, and you can add more value. I find 250 pixel fine, but you can add different value. Width I can add also. And after doing that, yeah, I have over here, I can delete it. So I can add an alternate text also, but they wish. Hmm. Yeah, so we have that image added. Yeah, and we can add a link over here, like, or you can write, you can kind of add a list of items. You can add a list of items, kind of like, you can say what are the things you can bring. So you can add like H3 again, and we can say things to bring, things you can bring, maybe bring. So maybe you can bring a kind of balance. You can bring something like that. Balance. Maybe you can bring some cake also. Yeah, you can bring some cake, or you can bring some maybe flowers or something else. Maybe decorative items. Maybe you can bring some books, or you can bring something else also. You can add to it. And yeah, after that you can give like address, or also like you can write H3, you can write address, and then you can for address you can have some like like this you can write, and you can have some uh, fictional address, maybe like Wonderland, maybe some fictional address. Okay, you can write that, and then yeah, let me add something like that and save it. And if I go over here, we can just check it out, and then if we see our result, if we refresh it, it should have all these things. Yeah, this image link is broken, page is not working. So yeah, I can get try to get this image. That image link was broken. So let me replace this image. Let me see if it works. Yeah, that image is there right now. My address spelling is wrong. Or you can kind of change it to, you can add a paragraph in place of it also if you want. Yeah. Yeah, we can kind of. Okay, so yeah, this is about it. We will learn more later. Like we have all these things, we have learned about elements, headings, paragraphs. Then we have styles also. There is something called a style. This is basically your CSS part, which you can add over here in the like over here also in your kind of what you can say over here also. You can add the style like this, so we can like but that is for later, because we will learn the CSS at once, and then we will discuss about it how everything works. So yeah, we have learned most of the basics, and there is something called as div. Okay, so there is something called as div also. Div, classes, ID. Okay, so there are these things we will learn uh, over here. Like basically div is like a container in which you can store something. So you can simply say like div header, you can have a container and you can store some value. So these things are for later. We will discuss about it when we will learn CSS. Okay, we can discuss that also. So yeah, so if we right now look into our project right now, if I try to go to my index.html, try to port it and try to go live. Yeah, so this is my result over here. This is we practiced heading, paragraph, anchor tags, link tag. If I go here, I can go to this project page. If I go here, this is my happy birthday project page. And later we can apply CSS to all of this also. Okay. So later we will learn CSS after this, and there we will discuss about like how we can kind of style it, apply colors, make it look better. okay, or how to align everything to the center, like how everything is on the left side. We can do those things, okay.